as the Commissioner for Public Works and Infrastructure, I supervise and preside over all infrastructure development in the state. That includes all the sectors that border heavily on infrastructure, including the roads sector, including the water and sanitation sector, including transport sector, and basically all the other sectors. Even the areas that our ministry is not directly responsible for, such as education and health, we also do maintenance and ensure standards and quality in terms of the infrastructure development that's going on for all the other sectors as well. So generally, our business is infrastructure, and our aim is to fill the infrastructure deficit across the state. Development is very broad, so specifically what we're trying to pursue is to make sure that the infrastructure supports the development. You can't have any kind of development without sufficient and appropriate infrastructure. As I mentioned already, for example, with education, we have a long way to go in ensuring that our schools are built to last the test of time. We've had a lot of challenges with the classrooms, with the dilapidation of classrooms and accessories within the classrooms. So we try to ensure that the infrastructure is appropriate and is available for the development to take place. The same thing is happening within the health sector, within the water and sanitation sector. So our development goal is to ensure that the infrastructure is appropriate and supports the development supports the development. You can't have the development in place without the appropriate infrastructure. Roads alone are a huge challenge in a state as wide as big as Kaduna State. We have a very, very large rural population. About 80% of our population is of our state, I should say, is rural. So we have to develop, for example, rural feeder roads. And rural feeder roads, for example, the insertion of a rural feeder road in any community brings a huge amount of development. It allows people to move from the community to access good education. It allows people to have access to sufficient health care. We've had cases where women have had terrible experiences with childbirth because they couldn't get to a health facility in time. The other thing that roads bring is basic communication. And for example, people need to be able to find out what's happening around them by moving from community to community. And of course, commerce. Roads are extremely important to support the economic base, because farmers need to get their goods to the markets. People need to be able to get to the communities to purchase the food stuff that's being produced in the communities. So our infrastructure is, the role we play is very important. Without the infrastructure, we can't have the development that we desire. We're very fortunate in Kaduna in that we have a very gender and women's rights focused government. Our governor is very sensitive to is very germane to the fact that women need to be given opportunities in order for them to do well and in order for them to develop. We've, in this state, for example, I am the very first female commissioner for works and for public works in the state ever. And if the governor had not decided to give me this opportunity, it wouldn't have happened. We've had in the past more women in the cabinet than ever. Out of 13 commissioners, 5 are women. That's more than we've ever had. And we have women in extremely powerful positions. Once again, it's about our government being focused on giving women the opportunity. And usually when women are given the opportunity, they do rise to the occasion. And it's not about tokenism. It's not about just placing women just for the sake of having the numbers. It's more than the numbers. What we have are qualified, experienced women who have been given the opportunity because the government took the decision to actually seek out such women who have the experience, who have the requisite education, and who have the basic skills and knowledge to be able to work in these positions. We have a female, our accountant general is a female. Our head of service is another wonderful woman. We have, yes, and of course, most importantly, our deputy governor. This is the first time ever in Kaduna State that we've had a deputy governor. She's actually the first female deputy governor in the entire northern part of Nigeria. But a lot of the agencies as well are headed by women. The Kaduna Transport Regulatory Agency, the Kaduna Investment Promotion Agency. A lot of our very key and important agencies are headed by women. I've done development work for a very long time, so to be honest, it's become second nature to me. I'm used to it now. Mm-hmm. I'm used to being the only woman in a room. I'm used to being the only female on a couple of boards that I sit on. I'm used to that. But what's important is that I focus on the work itself. I don't. Being a woman is a function of biology, and you can't escape that. You can't run away from that. But but what's important is knowing your stuff, being 110% focused on the job at hand, understanding the sector that you manage, and being able to do a good job. So for me, that's what's important. But the challenges are there, absolutely. In the north of Nigeria, we are still challenged by women not having sufficient space in the political sphere. In our House of Assembly, for example, we've made progress in the sense that for this administration, we have one woman in our House of Assembly. I see that as progress, because previously we didn't have any. I do believe that it's important to have more and more women fill the political space. The reason is because we have huge challenges with girls' development in our state and in our country. And we have to have women who will emerge as champions of other women, who will break the proverbial glass ceiling, as they say, but who will also carry other women along. And all the young girls that have the opportunity to go to school or may not have the opportunity to go to school need to be able to recognize themselves in women like us in politics, in management, in the political sphere, in government. I, for one, I came from northern Nigeria, and I came from a community where women traditionally did not get any form of education besides basic Quranic education. I grew up, strangely, feeling disadvantaged about being a girl. I remember being very little and wishing I wasn't a girl because I didn't have the opportunities my brothers had, because I didn't have the chance to do, I didn't get the chance to do all of the more fun, interesting things, to my mind anyway, as it was, that they were doing. But then, growing up, I recognized that what set me apart from others in my community was the fact that I was educated. I was sent to school. Luckily, I had academics for parents, so they were very, very. So education was very high on their priority list. So I was given a good education, and that's what led me to where I am today. So this can't be overemphasized. The issue of girls' education, is not only important for communities and families, but for our nation as a whole. We're talking about 50% of our population. If girls are not educated, then we cannot hope to achieve the level of development and the progress economically that we hope to achieve. In the north, for example, we are still, in terms of development indices, we are still way behind the southern part of the country. And to me, the reason for that is because we are still behind in terms of educating girls. Our girls are not yet as, we still don't have a 50-50 ratio of girls to boys in classrooms. We still don't have enough women in important positions in the education sector and in all the other sectors. It's improving, no doubt. It's better than it was 20 years ago. But we still have a long way to go. And we have to keep injecting that education, injecting that motivation, and supporting it with political will, as we've done in this government, as we've proven in this government, that it is possible. That if you do give women the opportunity, again, the key word, opportunity, if they are given the opportunity, they will rise to the occasion. But it has to be a concerted effort. It won't happen magically or automatically. Government needs to take proactive stance on these issues and take decisions that will support the development of women and girls in our society at large.